Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday and we have not one but two brand new episodes of Star Wars The Bad Batch. I was only expecting one. I literally looked at Disney Plus maybe 10 minutes before recording and went, oh, there's two. So I'm excited to see why we're getting two. By the looks of it, it looks to be parts, like each part of an arc, with the first being called Infiltration, the second being called Extractions, and the synopsis is make it sound like it's kind of a two-part story. And I'm very excited to get into it because the first one's thumbnail is Scorch, the clone commander, with this new unknown mystery trooper that potentially is to do with Project Necromancer, which is incredibly exciting. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode because I've got a feeling these two are going to be good ones. So I'm wondering where this is going to pick up off of, considering the last one was quite open-ended in the sense it didn't directly lead into a follow-up episode. I reckon it's going to pick up maybe on the Imperial side of things. Maybe not. That's Captain Rex! Well, we got Rex back, so it's already going to be a great episode. It's this new trooper, whatever it is. Okay. Question is, who is this person, right? A lot of people have theorized it's Tech, that well, an imperially repurposed Tech. Hauser! We've got Hauser back as well! I love Rex's kind of like spy kind of look. It looks so cool. I feel like we've seen this guy in an episode before, but I can't put my finger on where exactly he's from. Oh. Wait. Is this Senator Chuchi?
I had to take a few extra precautions.
No way! That's awesome.
Thank you for meeting with me.
It's lovely seeing her after the Clone Wars because on Loki I was curious what happened to her character. I'm so glad they're bringing her back. Which is one of the best things about continuing kind of after the Clone Wars. The question is, Raxus. We saw that plan. I think that was season 1. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm wondering what this. I say clone. I'm assuming it's a clone. I'm wondering what this mystery kind of man is doing. So it seems to very much be kind of operating in a one-man army kind of fashion, which leads me to believe maybe it probably isn't a resurrected Tech. But I don't know. It's nice seeing that helmet again, man. It's nice seeing it. I'm presuming they're definitely Imperial because I'm pretty sure we saw them before. Well, they got him. It's a clone.
Shadows we keep running into.
Shadows. Interesting. Maybe that wasn't the specific one that we saw in on Tantus then. Because the design of the armor looks slightly kind of greener than like shiny kind of gloss black that we saw on Tantus. But it is great to see Hauser again. I was worried that a lot of the clones would kind of just get forgotten about after having their stories, but this is awesome. Hello, we've not seen this place in a while. Are they using that as a base? Because if so, that is beyond cool. That was, so for those that may not have recognized that, that was the first planet we saw them go to in the Clone Wars movie, where we were introduced to Asajj Ventress. Clone designs are beyond awesome. Like in their armor, their individuality, you know, it's such a contrast to the Imperial Stormtroopers. Can't say I agree with Hauser there. Oh. I honestly, involving the Batch in this is dangerous, mainly because they don't know that there's now a target on... Well, they don't realize, sorry, that they're going to be using, this supposed Imperial Shadow is going to go after this other one and then find Omega's location and give them a massive lead, like...
But your rendezvous with Gregor was top priority.
Has she got a toothpick now? That's adorable, but we can get into that later. Trying to see if I can recognize any other clone series. Only really Hauser and Rex that are instantly kind of clicking in my brain. I'm sure there are some more that probably have appearances in the Clone Wars that I haven't just haven't caught up on. Honestly, and this is the thing as well. You would have thought blasters are all pretty generic, but Star Wars does have a way of making a lot of them quite unique, especially with that. That is awesome. It's almost like kind of a shotgun reload action. That's kind of sick. And that ship is very cool. Okay. See, I think this might be the important Shadow Agent. I'm not entirely sure. I think as it was communicating with Scorch directly, that it's probably the lead one. But I don't really know. By lead one, I mean the one that was in the first Tantus episode and kind of in the trailers. Although there might just be multiple and many of them, and this just happens to be a particularly skilled one. Who knows? But they do seem to be putting some emphasis on this character, so I'm wondering, is it Tech? Because that was one of the leading theories at the time. At the time of the trailer releasing, because of the design of the backpack primarily, but we'll see if that's right or wrong, hopefully by the end of these 2 episodes. The question is, where's
questions about
Wolf?
the facility, but
Is Wolf in the facility?
that's not the only reason why I sent for
Who
you.
knows?
Monk,
It's an
he doesn't
interesting
know how to get back
contrast.
there.
Like, Hauser
Whether
does
you
have
believe
some
me or not.
valid concerns. I think the first thing this agent is going to do is probably disarm the transports out, because if he does that, he can trap them all there and then call in for backup. It's a clever
When we
move.
escaped, there wasn't enough time to free the other clones.
With a few of my own spicy modifications.
Oh, now you're talking.
To be fair, I need a clone cookbook and I need it yesterday. I can't lie, this dude is running rings around the entire base. It's actually quite impressive. And I'm wondering if Omega's going to get taken already. I don't think she will, because I think it's too early in the season for her to get captured again. But it's entirely possible. Yeah, that's the only problem with dogs. Whilst they may be incredibly receptive of picking some things up that humans or other life forms may miss, they will just go straight for the food bowl. Also, why are they muffling the voice? Because it's muffled, but you can tell it's a distinct clone voice. Or like, you can tell it's a clone voice, but it's muffled. But I'm wondering why muffle it if it's clone voice. Clone voices are very generic. The only ones that are kind of distinct are the ones like the Bad Batch, where they have standout voices. And I guess other clones have slight variations, but they're all pretty generic. So I'm mainly wondering why this one in particular has got a kind of distortion filter on his voice. You're going to send 2 patrol ships after Hemlock's prime... Sorry, that seems to me like a little bit of underkill, but... I'm not going to question it. Wait.
We've lost contact with the operative.
That's Wolf!
Prepare to land and set blasters to stun.
Wolf was on the
Orders are to retrieve the target alive.
Ain't no way! Ain't no way! I figured he was in, like, Imperial custody or something. Oh, God. Right, well, on to the next one. Okay, well, that was low-key more than I was expecting. And Wolf's with the Empire? Oh, yeah, as I said, this is about to get juicy. They're probably going to have to call Echo in, but I guess he's coming back with Gregor, so that's their only hope, that he kind of just comes back conveniently in the kind of correct sort of time frame. He's not dead, is he? No, didn't think so. I still think there's something different about this one. The voice distortion, the kind of emphasis placed on him. I feel like this is either someone we know, or like potentially Tech. Although you can argue about how likely that really is, or another like clone that we know. I don't know. I feel like this is someone we do know, or did know, past tense. But that Shadow Operative was ridiculously efficient. Honestly, like a kind of mix of Tech and Crosshair. You can tell I'm really rooting for this kind of Tech theory, right? But sending... Yeah, sending, I think, former clones after clones, that's a bad idea. I just wonder why they did that. Like, I'm excited to see it narratively, but... From the Empire's point of view, bringing in Wolf and former clones is a bad idea. Like, conditioned ones are one thing... Ooh. Okay, I didn't know if they were taking the helmet off or something. Yeah, I'm baffled at their decision of why they're then taking former clones against clones. They know that clones are loyal to each other a lot of the time, and whilst these may be supposedly now loyal to the Empire, they've not been conditioned like the operatives, so this is a very strange move. Especially considering Wolf was friends with, or friendly with, commanders like Rex. So basically, it looks like a glorified escape pod. That's Diddy! Yeah, well, I guess they said no hyperdrive. Although they did that without the authorization of Wolf, so he's not going to be happy. So they couldn't have even left the planet, and they've got in-system shit, like they've got ships that can quite easily chase it. So Wolf makes a valid point, and that operative really did do it was a very stupid idea. They're still deploying this assailant guy after Wolf is like, I'm wondering why they aren't just stunning him and telling him to stand down completely. Honestly, I respect that. Like, given Crosshair did kill the majority of House's squad from what it sounds, I can't quite recall what happened. That's a quick turnaround, and honestly, well in for Hauser, because it's not easy to do that. When you opened a hatch on the bottom of the ship and he ziplined out of it. That's... Sure, he ran off after, but don't let him out the ship then. It's not rocket science. And honestly, Crosshair's gone kind of paternal. And I'm all here for it, man. It's a lot more character growth this season than any of the others so far. Yeah, those engines are a lot more vulnerable than I remember them being, honestly. There he is again. I'm gonna die on this hill that this isn't just a random clone. Tech fancies an impromptu sniper. Not Tech, sorry, Crosshair. And unfortunately, he's not got the reflexes. I say that, and he gets a bang-on shot. Well in. Okay. Thank God that's not... We don't need another member of the Bad Batch taking a tumble. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the waterfalls in Wakanda where they do the battling. It's a very different scenario, obviously, this being a completely different universe, but still.
You had your chance to be one of us.
Maybe it was just a random fella. I don't know, these disposable clones, man. Or sleeper agents, or whatever you want to call them. Unless he's going to be revealed to be alive, maybe?
Not against you. Against the Empire.
Is this going to be where Wolf
They're
turns?
imprisoning and experimenting on our brothers. I have my orders. Hand the girl over, and I'll make sure you're given a fair trial.
Trial?
About what you're doing.
That's comical.
I know you've been trained not to question orders.
It's going to be the Rebels gang, dude. Wolf, Rex,
Commander.
and Gregor.
Stand down.
What's Wolf gonna do? Because if he goes back to the Empire empty-handed, his men aren't staying silent. That's the problem. He's gonna basically subject himself to his own experimentation. It's a bad move, and I've got a funny feeling that assailant might pop up with recordings or something or whatever, knowledge of what happened here.
Recover their fallen.
I suppose actually no, there's only clones left. There aren't any more stormtroopers. Which is what I mean. Why did Hemlock send clones after clones? It makes no sense. I'm glad that he did, don't get me wrong. It made the narrative much more interesting. But still, he's alive. He's alive. Wait. We're going to find out who he is. Come on. Come on, take that helmet off for a breath of good old gasp of air. Come on. Damn it! I swear to God that is somebody. That is not just a random clone. I refuse to believe it.
You need to find out why she's so important to them.
Now, I'm surprised the batch has never come to that conclusion themselves, but yeah. So, that was a corker of a two-parter. I don't really know where to start. So, honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it would just be the Bad Batch, kind of have the Empire catch up to them, they get cornered, they then have to escape. Which, true, is more or less what happened, but it was made so much more interesting by having the dynamic of Imperial clones versus, not defective, sorry, wrong word, rebellious clones. Like, I know what it's building up to, and it's building up to, and I really hope I'm correct on this, a clone rebellion that will happen on Tantis, which will explain why they're still working on this supposed cloning technology in the time of the Mandalorian, and hadn't supposedly kind of finalized it now, because the clone rebellion took out Hemlock. That is my current leading theory, and I don't think that I'm alone in this theory. I wouldn't say I took this from someone else, it's more I've come up with it, but I'm sure there are a million other people that have also come to this conclusion. I'm very interested to see where this is going to take us, and I think having that dynamic between Rex and Wolf is incredibly important, and also, if you'll note, Wolf going back for their dead, Empire would never have done that usually. They probably would have just left the bodies there to rot. Let's be real. Like, they wouldn't think it was worth their time, their effort, or their resources to go and do that, but Wolf doing that is a clear display of how fundamentally different stormtroopers are to clones, and why, honestly, if the Empire had kept the clones loyal and not turned on them, because even after Order 66, right, if they continued the production of clones, it would have made so much more sense rather than taking stormtroopers, because they're not as good. Whilst, yes, the clones are rebelling against the Empire, if they did things to ensure the clones would stick with them and would remain loyal, it would be a completely different scenario, like, completely. I mean, look at the clones. The clones wiped out all the Jedi. What did the stormtroopers ever do? Failed to hit one. Like, it's a no-brainer. But, yeah, I still think this particular shadow agent, I don't know whether it's tech. Tech was a very big popular theory. I think it's possible. We're still not quite clear on what Project Necromancer is. If Project Necromancer is the specific, I'm pretty sure that is the one specific to the Emperor. And if that's the one specific to the Emperor, it's got something to do with midichlorian count, and that's remaining the same on transfer. Being able to transfer midichlorians from one bloodstream to another without any degradation or loss, right? So, if that was to do with these shadow agents, why do none of them have any kind of overt sense of force sensitivity? Potentially that could be in the sense of reflexes and aim and stuff like that, because that can all be kind of assisted by the force, sure. So I'm just wondering how this all ties together, and if the shadow agents are indeed Project Necromancer themselves. Now, Necromancer suggests to me that potentially coming back from the dead, resurrection. I don't know. That's what it's suggesting to me. I forget the exact definition of necromancer. But I feel like it could be tech. I feel like it's unlikely. But if it's not tech, I really do think it is someone that we know or have seen before, who we now believe dead or otherwise. Because the way they are dancing around the mystery of these shadow agents, and specifically this one, keep in mind they had one at the beginning. That one was disposable. That one we saw their face, right? If they were disposable and all the same, why not just kill this one off and then bring in another one? Because we know they're formidable. Even if that guy did die, we know they're formidable. But they really seem to be dancing around this one in particular. So I'm very fascinated to see if this is potentially a resurrected tech. This is another character that we may have forgotten about. Who is it? On a side note as well, seeing characters like Senator Tucci at the beginning was really cool. Just because there are a lot of things in the Clone Wars that they show these interesting characters who would have rebellious tendencies, and we don't know anything about them post the Clone Wars, where they're just like, yeah, they either didn't die and they're still around, but what are they doing? Who knows? Now we know Senator Chuchi is involved in some form of rebellion. Like, it's very interesting to me, and I do love that the Bad Batch is taking that opportunity to involve these characters that would have probably been left forgotten on the cutting room floor from the Clone Wars and re-involve them and make sure they still have an impact on the future of Star Wars. I think it's just really cool. It's just really cool. The only other thing I want to talk about is potentially, will we be getting Cody back? So we've got Hauser back. What happened to Cody? Because we still don't know. Cody was in Season 2. He did a couple of missions with Crosshair within the Empire. But then he defected. He just went missing. And we don't know what happened to him. And maybe Cody was experimented on. Maybe that sleeper agent could have been Cody. Who knows? It could have been. It's possible. We don't know what happened to him. It's within the realm of possibility. To be fair, it's probably more likely to be Cody than Tech. We don't know whether, because the Empire could have been cryptic with that in the sense that he's gone missing, as in, I'm not taking him, that's classified, we're not telling you. We don't know where he's gone. He deserted, he was disloyal and executed, you know. There are so many things that it could potentially be Cody now. You can see how theories are going to run completely wild with this character. I'm going to honestly place my chips in that it's going to be Cody. But it could be Tech, it could be anyone. Who knows? Who knows? But that will be it for today's double episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch. You'll be able to find me same time, same place here. Well, maybe not same time, same place here next week to watch the next episode of The Bad Batch. And I'm really loving this season so far. The previous two had their flaws and potential slow points, but this season continues to kind of keep everything paced incredibly well, and I'm very, very excited to try and see all of these plot points kind of converge and accumulate. And if Cody isn't this guy, I hope we see Cody again, because I just think we should see him again. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind dropping a sub on the channel and dropping a like, that would be greatly appreciated. Comment if you've got any feedback, and comment to let me know your theories, because that is the magic behind stuff like this, is that we can, as a fan base, we can theorize and go, where is this going to go? Where's this to go? And then send some people, those lucky few, get the satisfaction of having their theories be the correct ones. But yeah, please feel free to comment down below any theories you have for the future of The Bad Batch Season 3. And obviously, if I got anything wrong lore-wise, please drop it in there. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. And if you've got any feedback, please also drop it in the comment section. I've probably repeated myself 3 times. But that'll be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.